My name is Jared Zimmerman, and I'm here interviewing
Carol Kiser.
So let's go ahead and start. So when and where were you born?
I was born in Columbus, Ohio in
Columbus,
1955.
1955? What was the community like when you were growing up?
Well, we moved to Kentucky when I was probably 5 years old
And why'd you move to Kentucky?
because the plant that my dad worked at closed down.
So can you describe your family, how many siblings you had, what your parents were like?
I had 5 brothers and 1 sister. My dad was a cement finisher and my mom was a stay-at-home mother.
And what were your siblings' names?
Eugene Jr., Karen Sue, Harry Lee, Danny Allen, Bobby Dale, and William Eddy.
Did any of them move away from you? Or did they all kind of stay around here?
They all stayed here.
Is there a reason for that, you think, or?
That's just what we grew up in. That's just where we stayed.
Did your parents or grandparents ever tell you stories?
Not a whole lot. My dad didn't talk a whole lot.
Nothing they ever said stood out to you or anything like that?
I know that my grandfather got hold of some bad moonshine and it killed him.
Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that.
Yep.
So, growing up in such a big family, what kind of responsibilities did you have?
Well, I was the oldest, so I more or less took care of the kids and stuff. I helped Mom a whole lot clean house and cook and whatever.
So I guess did the boys go out and do all the heavy lifting, stuff like that, would you say?
They cut the grass and we had a little garden,
So would you say the girls did certain things and the boys did certain things and it never kind of changed? It was always the same kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So what was a typical day like for you growing up?
Well, you'd get up and you'd have to fix breakfast. I'd help Mom fix breakfast for everybody, and then we'd clean up the kitchen and clean up the house, and pretty soon it was time to start dinner and stuff. It was just always the same stuff every day.
So nothing usually happened out of the ordinary. It was always kind of the same stuff and whatnot.
Sometimes we'd play baseball or just mess around outside.
What kind of foods did you guys eat?
We had a lot of beans and potatoes and cornbread, a lot of rice and oats, biscuits and gravy.
I need to enter your internet password real quick. Sorry.
CK
In capital?
Little 987-915.
So, when you were growing up, what were your living conditions like? Like, did you have a nice house or?
No, we were really poor.
Really poor?
In fact, when my baby brother was born, we didn't have gas, water, or electric.
So you didn't have heat?
We had fireplaces in the house.
Fireplaces?
And that's what we cooked on, and that's what heated the house. And there was a little spring behind the house that we would get water.
So, would you say that stuff like clothing and like kind of household items like hairbrushes and toothbrushes like that, were they kind of just like makeshift and hand-me-down stuff?
Oh yeah, we never got new stuff.
Was there any time you felt like that was different? Maybe you were doing good for a while there and you got some new stuff or, anything like that?
No, there was one year that stood out. I wanted a watch real bad for Christmas. And that is the one year that I remember getting something that I wanted.
And what did you want to watch for?
I don't know. I just wanted to watch him. It was just a cheap Timex, but I did get it that year. Most of the time, we didn't get much of anything.
So, were there any times when you felt like life was especially hard, harder than it usually was?
I guess growing up is just what we was used to. I never thought much about it.
So nothing stood out that you thought it was a harder time than any other time?
No, it was all rough.
Or other families like that too? Like they didn't have very much? Or were you like more poor than other people you knew?
We were poorer than a lot of people I knew.
So what kind of chores did you like most and least, and why?
What kind of what?
What kind of chores did you like most or least, and why?
Sometimes I get awful tired of babysitting. But I didn't, I guess, we just expected it. We knew we had to do it, so we never questioned it. Yeah.
So you just did it because you had to and you couldn't complain? Because there wasn't no complaining to do, I guess.
No, I mean, we knew we had to do it. I mean,
So when you said you moved from, what was it, Columbus? So when you moved, you said it's because of the plant shutting down, right?
yeah, my dad worked for a plant in Columbus when he got out of the service.
So how different was it there versus here?
Well, I don't remember there.
You don't remember it at all?
I was too little.
Did you ever hear anything of what your parents said or anything?
No.
So
I know that my dad worked midnight shift, and I guess he made pretty good money because they rented 2 apartments, one so he could sleep in the daytime. But I don't know any of that.
So other than you moving whenever you were little, you didn't move anywhere else after that?
No, we stayed right around here.
Okay. Move on to like what the community was like. So how would you describe your like neighborhood or town? Like, did you live close to people or far away, or are you kind of in a neighborhood or what?
Well, I can remember living close to people, but I can also remember living out by ourselves for a while.
So what town did you live in for most of your life?
Ashland.
Ashland. And what part of Ashland?
South Park.
So what kind of stores or restaurants do you remember going to or that were in town most of the time?
Oh, we never went to a restaurant. And we didn't go to a store very often. There used to be a Kroger store on Winchester Avenue years ago. But years ago, they used to have, the government gave out, they called them commodities. They give them out once a month, and Mom and Dad would always go get those. Dad worked seasonal work, so wintertime he didn't work very much.
So what kind of stuff, when you say commodities, what were they
They
giving?
had cheese and peanut butter and pinto beans and cornmeal and flour, stuff like that.
Do you think that was only done around here mostly?
I think it was done everywhere. I guess the government gave it out.
So when you were growing up, what kind of role did church, school, or community gatherings hold in your life?
I like to go to school.
Like
I
school?
mean, yeah. Now I know, they had free lunches and all that when we went. But I like going to school.
So did you make good grades?
Yep, I did.
Talk to a lot of people?
No, I just had a few friends, but I mean,
Did you go to church
sometimes.
sometimes?
Mhm.
Was it like a whole family kind of thing?
No.
No?
No. Just me and maybe my sister would go.
So did you ever have any big community gatherings that you went to or anything like that? Or would you say that your community wasn't very tightly knit?
No, it wasn't very tightly knit.
Not a lot of people talk to each other or anything like that?
No, we just had a bunch of kids in the neighborhood. We just all got together, and I remember my brothers playing cowboys and Indians all the time.
You stayed the summer with your grandma, was Elliott County.
Yeah, I did. I spent a lot of summers in Elliott County with my grandmother.
So what kind of music or traditions did your family like doing or listening to?
Country music. We didn't really have very many traditions.
Not many traditions. So what was like celebrating Christmas or Thanksgiving like? Was it any different than what you do now or what other people were doing or anything?
I don't, I don't think it was really different. Churches or whatever would give Christmas baskets or Thanksgiving baskets, and they would always bring them, to us. Of course, like I said, there wasn't a lot of Christmas presents.
So would you say the people in your community were nice people? Like, were they generous, or were they more kind of closed off and like they kept to themselves?
They were nice. I mean, you know.
They were nice, but they just didn't talk to other people too much.
Mm-mm.
Would you say that people you knew were more or less intelligent than the average person from anywhere else? I mean, do you think people in this area are less educated, and do you think there's a reason for it?
I just think that the people we were around were less educated. I believe there were more educated people around, but we wasn't around them that much.
Do you think that's just because of this area?
Yep,
There's not enough money to go around to the public schools, probably.
yep.
They didn't give you nothing back then.
No, I mean, you didn't, You couldn't afford to go, you just didn't go.
So, what kind of people in your community do you remember most vividly that had like the biggest impact?
Probably teachers.
Teachers?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say the teachers were nice people?
Yeah, I felt like, they took the time to, teach me.
Like they actually cared about teaching?
And they knew I came from a poor family. There's a couple times I think the school took me to get clothes, and I know there was a couple times that the teacher would my school pictures, or I couldn't take Valentine's to school, and the teacher would bring them for me.
So, what age did you start working?
Probably 16.
16? And do you think that was like a normal age to start working around that time, or would you say that was a little earlier or later?
Nah, I'd say it was probably normal. Now, I worked a little bit earlier than that for the school system. They would hire summer help. I was probably 14, 15 when they done that.
Did your siblings work with you, or did they go and work separate jobs, or?
They must have went to work separate jobs, because I don't remember them working. They delivered newspapers and stuff like that and made their money.
Her husband worked with her at school.
So, what would you do to help the school out?
Oh, we just would clean classrooms and clean the school. I mean, I think it was just a way to pay poor students, so they'd have money to get school clothes and this and that. We didn't do a whole lot.
So, how important would you say school was to you as like an entire experience?
Now what?
How important would you say school life was, like the entire experience, like going to school and people you met and things you learned? Like, how important was it to your overall life and like the lessons you learned?
I would say it was real important. I mean, they would teach, you had to read and write and do math and stuff to get a job, and had they not taught me that, I wouldn't have known. I mean, and that's the only outlet we had was school.
Were there a lot of people that went to school when you went to school, or was it kind of like a smaller school?
It's probably smaller.
So what kinds of jobs were like the most common in your town when you were young around that time?
God, I don't know.
Were there a lot of people working in like coal mines that you heard of?
No. I don't know. A lot of people, like I said, my dad was a cement finisher. He worked a lot of construction. I don't really know what people work.
Just kind of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Mom worked in the restaurants a lot, but she didn't make a lot of money.
So, would you say there were expectations placed on you because you were a woman growing up here?
When you say expectations, what do you mean?
I mean, that you were supposed to act a certain way or do certain things because you were a woman.
No, I wouldn't. No. No.
Would you say that girls' responsibilities were that much different than boys, or was it just kind of whatever you learned to do around the house or in the community?
The girls always took care of the house and the kids. And the guys was always outside doing stuff. When I grew up, anyway.
So, was there any pressure on you to act a certain way, you think?
No, I was just expected, to go to school and to do my job. I mean, and help mom. And it's just something you accepted as a way of life. I mean.
So, what kind of, ideas were you taught about marriage or raising a family or being independent as a woman? I mean, were there any things that people in your life told you that you should or shouldn't do?
No, not really. I mean, years ago, you just thought, you grew up, you got married, you had your kids, and, did more or less what your parents did.
Were there any women you would say in your life who shaped how you saw yourself?
I had an aunt that would, she'd kind of get me and take me to church, and I'd stay with her a lot. So, probably my aunt.
And you said you stayed with your grandma over the summer sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you learned from her or heard from her that kind of stuck out to you?
I learned a long time ago you don't lie to your grandmother. Because she always got you up in it. And her poor old hand to whip you was probably worse than any switch could have been.
So what do you think some of the toughest challenges your family faced as a whole?
I guess surviving. I mean, we had some rough times.
Letting Rick Kiser be their son-in-law.
So just not having much for most
Yeah.
of the time, just kind of...
Never had what others had. I mean, never.
So whenever you would have hard times like that, did you ever try and reach out to people in the community or anything for help, or
No,
no? Did anybody else ever reach out to you for help?
not to me, no.
Would you say that there were any ways that you were resourceful or resilient in hard times?
You just kept doing what you had to do. I mean, there was some guys in the community, I know that my two youngest brothers, they would bring them things at Christmas time and stuff, Christmas presents, because they were so little. But I mean, it was just a way of life. I mean,
So did extended members of your family, like aunts and uncles or anything like that, did they live around here or did they kind of move away?
No, I had aunts around here now, but I had some that moved away. I mean, it is mixed up. I mean,
Did they move far away or just kind of right outside of where you were?
no, some moved to Alabama, some moved to Maine, Dayton.
What kind of reasons did they have for moving?
Found jobs.
Well, a couple of them married, and the people they married ended up getting jobs in those states. And
So do you think jobs were better outside of this area?
oh yeah,
Yeah. Not a lot to do around here for a lot of money. Do you think that was a problem that affected a lot of people in this area?
yep,
Not being able to find jobs and not enough goods to go around?
yep.
So how do you think experiencing those hardships have shaped you into who you are today?
It didn't work fast and over. The gas plant, you didn't work.
That's true.
So the plant jobs were big?
If you didn't work for Ashland Oil or these utility companies, you didn't find a good job.
So, do you think growing up in such a hard place has like shaped you into a independent woman today?
To an extent, yeah.
Do you think it was beneficial in the long run for your character, or do you think you would have been better off not experiencing those things?
Sometimes I think that had I not experienced it to the degree that I had, it would have made a difference.
So, when you were growing up, did you ever hear about how people viewed Appalachians from the outside?
I never gave it much thought.
Did you hear things though?
No, I don't think we talked about it much.
Did you ever leave this area, even just a little bit outside of it, and feel judged or anything, or misunderstood?
No, no.
Were you ever asked any odd questions or treated differently because you were from here, an Appalachian?
No.
Never anybody that came through town or anything?
No.
So, would you say some stereotypes about Appalachia are true, or do you think they're all just misunderstood? Because a lot of people will say, you know, that everybody around here lives in big old families and they're poor and they're walking around without shoes on, you know, things like that, and that they're uneducated.
Now, some of that is true to an extent.
But do you think that's because of the people themselves, or just because of the way this area has kind of grown apart from other regions? Do you think they've just become disconnected?
Yeah.
So you think the people themselves are completely capable, but it's just they don't have the means to become capable?
Yep, I do.
So what kind of things do you think outsiders fail to understand about our community or ways of life?
I think our community, are hardworking people. I believe they're loyal to family.
So you think the Appalachians are pretty loyal to family and hardworking and they have good values?
For the most part, yeah.
Would you say they probably have better values than most other people?
Now, I don't know about that.
Do you think Appalachians themselves are different in character than other regions, or would you say that it's kind of just all the same? Some people are some ways and some people are other ways.
I'd say it's all the same.
You don't think there's any differences between how other people live and how Appalachians live? It's just the means that they do it?
Right. Yeah.
So what parts of your upbringing would you say you're most proud of?
That I'm most proud of?
Are you recording? Yeah. I'm sorry.
That I am most proud of. I guess the thing I'm most proud of is that I married and raised 3 girls. Been married for 52 years.
Would you say that you feel accomplished in your life?
Yeah,
You're happy with how it ended up? You
Yep.
wouldn't have it any different or anything?
I am happy with my life, yeah.
So you don't think that you being from this area or living in this area has influenced your life in any negative way, other than just not having the means to do certain things?
Now, had I had money and this and that, I would have liked to have gone on to school, but like I said, I don't regret anything.
I mean, because you ended up working at the hospital, so.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very happy with the way my life turned out.
So what kind of jobs did you have leading up to working at the hospital?
I worked in nursing homes. I worked in hotels. Worked in restaurants.
So what kind of traditions or values have you tried to pass down to your children or grandchildren?
I've tried to teach them all to work hard, to take care of themselves and their family.
So, what does being Appalachian mean to you today?
Like I said, you were hardworking, poor families. I mean,
Do you think that was pretty normal?
hmm
Do you think that there were definitely more people who were like not as well off around here than other places in America?
probably. Yeah.
What do you wish that younger generations understood about the past and how you used to live and how you grew up?
Younger generations are, I don't know the word to use. They've just got a lot more and a lot more opportunities than what we had.
I think you had to work a lot harder for what you got.
I do.
Don't think you ever were given anything. You always had to work for it.
That is true. Yeah.
Do you think the newer generations don't understand hardship as much as your generation,
That I would agree with.
especially in this area?
Yep. That I would agree with.
Would you say that Appalachians themselves typically deal with more hardships than people outside the region?
Probably. Probably. But I would say no matter where you go, you run across communities or families that have rough times. I mean, it's not just limited to here.
Do you think Appalachians are stereotypes just because they're misunderstood, or do you think it's actually the way that people think we are?
I think it's the way people think we are.
That's not actually the truth, do you think? People try and say Appalachians are backward or, they do incest and this and that. You don't think any of that's true?
Now, I don't know about the incest and all that. But the hard times and the families, yeah. But I don't know about incest.
So, do you think people kind of underappreciate the actual Appalachian identity as being hardworking and kind of dealing with what you're dealt with?
Yep, I do.
So, if you could give yourself advice to your younger self, what would you say?
I don't know. Just to give it all you've got with whatever you go after. I mean,
Do you think that people will ever actually understand Appalachians and not stereotype them anymore? Or do you think it's just kind of always going to be a thing?
I think it'll always be like that.
So, how would you say your personal story fits into the bigger story of Appalachia?
What do you
Like, how do you think it contributes to outsiders' overall understanding of Appalachia and how they view the people here? Do you think it's going to reinforce the stereotypes, or do you think it'll kind of help to alleviate some of the stereotypes?
I think it can help alleviate it.
Is there anything important that I haven't asked that you want to share? Maybe something about something that happened in school or something somebody said to you or anything like that?
No. Like I said, it was just, it was just hard. I mean, like I said, we had no utilities whatsoever there a couple of years. But, and then I had a brother that was born in the middle of December, and it was really cold. I don't know how he even survived. I don't. We just made do with what we had. We didn't have a whole lot. A lot of times, they would assign you to watch a show or something on television. Well, we didn't have a television. So, I couldn't always participate in that, but yet, I always made good grades. And like I said, though, it's just a way of life that we accepted.
So, whenever you had friends, would you ever go over to their house and they had stuff that you didn't have or anything like that?
Definitely.
Definitely.
And I didn't have very many friends that I would invite to the house.
Do you think the people who did have things, do you think they were raised differently than you were?
Oh, I know they were.
They had different values and everything?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we all wanted the same thing, but theirs was a little more easier to come by.
So, what parts about the Appalachian identity do you hope never change, and what ones do you think you want to change or want to see change?
I guess the stigma of being dumb hillbillies, because just because you're from Appalachia doesn't mean that you're dumb.
Do you think that's probably the biggest thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think you watched a lot of TV growing up, or maybe even now you see people that are stereotyped as hillbillies? That's all you ever see from around here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what kind of dreams, when you were younger, what kind of things did you think you would do with your life?
Oh, I don't know. One time I wanted to be a social worker. I wanted to be a teacher.
And what kind of pushed you away from doing that?
I got married and had kids.
But would you change that if you had the chance? Or are you glad that it ended up that way?
No, I'm happy with the way it ended up being.
And so you met Papaw in, you said, I think it was the second grade? 7th grade? And then how soon after you met him did you start dating him?
Oh, probably 3 years later, maybe.
3 years later?
I mean, we talked and everything, but we didn't date.
So how long did you date before you got married?
I don't know, maybe 6 months or so.
What was a moment from your childhood that you would say you remember very vividly and you think it was very important to who you are today?
Now, I remember growing up, my dad abused my mother quite a bit. And I always swore that would never happen to me.
Do you think that was a common thing around here?
I don't know. You didn't talk about it a whole lot to nobody. You just kept it to yourself. But my dad hit my mother a whole lot.
Do you think that was, do you think there was a cause for that? Like maybe the way he was raised or the way people kind of acted in his time? Or
I don't think it's the way he was raised. No.
you don't think?
No.
I think that was just something that kind of just happened for whatever reason.
Yeah, he wasn't raised like that.
So it's not the fault of Appalachian values, it's
No.
just...
No, that just, like I said, he was just like that, but no.
Do people ever trade things or share things in the community?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know, maybe people who had like little farms or anything like that? People ever trade anything?
I don't remember none of that.
No. Were there certain families or people who you felt like everybody relied on?
No, I think we relied just on some of Dad's family, to help us.
Was there anything that you were afraid of in your childhood?
I don't think so. No, that I was really afraid of, no.
What kind of foods were your favorite growing up that you ate?
Oh, we liked biscuits and gravy and beans and potatoes, but that's what we had most of the time.
Would you say that you still eat those things a lot of the time?
Yep.
Mostly?
Yep.
What kind of meals or treats felt special to you and why?
I don't know, I guess it would have to be the holidays, because we'd usually get baskets and we'd have turkey well, mostly turkey. But most of the other times we always just had the same old stuff. Now, when Dad was working good, sometimes when he got paid, we'd have, hot dogs and pop or whatever, but most of the other time it was whatever.
Were there ever any moments where you felt like your beliefs were going to change or they were challenged just by some experience?
No, not really. Mm-mm.
So you've always been pretty strong in your beliefs and values that were raised into you?
Yep.
Do you think that your teachers helped raise you kind of like beside your parents?
Now what?
Would you view your teachers as kind of like another, like an extension of a parent? Like, do you think they helped raise you?
Some of them, not all of them, but there were a few.
Did you ever think about leaving the region for any reason?
No.
Did you ever feel limited by living here or coming from here?
I guess I just never had high expectations.
Is that because of specifically the region you lived in, or is that just kind of what you got used to?
Probably what I got used to when we were so poor.
What would you say success looked like to you in your community? Who did you think was successful and why?
That's a loaded question. To me, if you've got a happy family and you're happy with your family, that's success. It doesn't take a big home or a big fine car, but I just think if you're happy with what you have and you feel like you've done your best, then you've succeeded.
So you think it's less of like monetary things and more of just overall happiness and having a family and living with them and all that? How has your hometown changed since your childhood? Like, what kind of things are the biggest things that stand out to you? I mean, what do you miss and what do you wish didn't change? Things like that.
God, I don't know.
Was there any kind of store or restaurant that you had memories of that you didn't want them to get rid of it, but they did, and they replaced it with something?
Well, there was a couple of stores that we went to. The lady that ran the store always talked to us, and would pay us a little bit of money to help her do stuff. But I mean, a lot of stores and businesses have left this area. I mean, like there's nothing hardly in Catlettsburg anymore.
And so you think that's because of the area we live in? There's just not enough people here, not enough kind of money flowing in and whatnot?
That's probably why they closed. I mean,
do you think the community has overall improved, or did it used to be better in terms of the people and kind of like the business here?
I thought it used to be better.
In business and community?
Before these businesses all left, yep.
Because you were talking about the plants.
That's part of it, and then, just, there's a lot of businesses, like Western Auto used to be in town, and Friedman's, and you got to know those people that ran the stores, and you don't know people anymore that own businesses, like Walmart.
So, would you say your parents' rules were strict or lenient, or?
My dad's rules were strict. My mom, you could talk into anything.
What kind of rules did he have? Like, what did he not want you to do or not let you
Oh, he
do?
didn't want you to do anything.
Didn't want you to go nowhere or anything
No.
like that?
No. I know in the third grade, I brought this little boy home. Now, in the third grade, and we were sitting on the porch just coloring. And when my dad come home from work, he sent that boy on his way. He was mad because we were sitting there coloring.
What do you think the reason was? Just
He was a boy and I was a girl.
that's the only reason?
Yeah.
Just kind of like one of his values that
Yep.
he kind of grew into, I guess.
Yep.
Would you say that was a common value?
No, I think it was more him.
Do you think, what is something that you learned the hard way growing up?
at Christmas time, me and my brother, we knew, you know, that we weren't going to get anything for Christmas. I mean, we knew it. And, I mean, it bothered us, but I mean, it was just something that couldn't be helped. I knew Mom and Dad didn't have any money. And so Christmas Eve, me and my brother took a walk up the road. We went up and had a little cry, and we come back home and never told Mom. That was the year a couple of them guys went and got my two youngest brothers, you know, things from the dollar store and stuff, and brought them for Christmas. But,
So were you two the oldest?
mm-hmm.
That's why you weren't getting nothing.
Yep.
What would you say is the decision that you're most proud of making in your life?
I guess just keeping my family together.
So would you say family is probably the most important thing to you?
Yep.
And is that because of the kind of values that your family has instilled in you, or is that just your own values and your own thoughts and beliefs?
I think it's my thoughts and beliefs.
What do you hope people remember about you in the future?
That I was a hard worker and I took care of my girls and grandkids to the best that I could.
So would you say that you tried to give your kids what you didn't have growing up?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definite. Yep.
Did you still try and instill a lot of the hard-working values and beliefs into them, though?
Well, I didn't want them to have to work like I did. I tried to make it easier on them, but yet I still wanted the honesty and the hard work to come through. And I think for the most part it has with all three of my kids.
So if you had one message to pass on to everyone from Appalachia to outsiders, what would it be?
Don't give up your values.
I mean, like, kind of don't give up your values just because people look at you differently or think certain things.
Right, I mean, you don't have to be like everybody else to be happy.
So just pretty much don't let people make you behave a certain way, right?
Right.
Like, just because people like to say certain things, that doesn't mean that your way of life is wrong.
Right.
Do you think that people from the outside kind of just misunderstand and kind of name us certain things
Oh
and
yeah,
say
I'm
certain
sure they
things?
misunderstand.
So you think
But-
all the stereotypes that people say, they're just not true? They're just kind of what they see and what they think?
I think it's what they think.
And do you think that that's because Appalachians themselves kind of like portray those images, or do you think that's just because people, you know, in the media like to say those things?
Probably a little of both.
A little of both.
Yeah.
But would you say for the most part the stereotypes are exaggerated and people aren't, you know, like the hillbillies running around with guns and those big old hats?
Yeah, I think they're exaggerated. A whole lot.
That's it. Thank you.